In this video, I'm going to share with you 5 techniques that you can use to stop overthinking and negative thinking. So hey guys, I'm Laura and I make videos that will awaken your awareness. So sometimes we may be overthinking on a situation, or we may be stuck with these negative thought patterns, and it can be difficult to break ourselves out of that. So that's why I wanted to make this video to share with you 5 techniques that you can use to break out of overthinking and negative thinking. So firstly, I wanted to also share with you what Eckhart Tolle says about overthinking and basically the key to breaking out of this. So if you don't know who Eckhart Tolle is, he's a great man, but he's also the author of the book called The Power of Now. I haven't read this book, but it's on my list of books to read. It's got great reviews. And The Power of Now is talking about like the power of the present moment. Now, what he says about thinking is that thinking can be addictive, just like drinking, just like eating, just like smoking cigarettes. Thinking can actually be addictive. So I want to share with you what he says, basically like the key to breaking out of overthinking. He says, becoming more aware of the present moment and accept it as it is slows down the overactive mind. A lot of the overactivity of the mind is an attempt to get away from the isness, simplicity of the present moment. So becoming present to the moment is the key to breaking out of overthinking. So the first technique I'm going to share with you is exactly that. It gets you to be more present. So what you do is you need to bring your awareness out of the head and back into the body. So there's a technique, a candle meditation technique that I use to do this. I start my day every morning doing this candle meditation for about 5 to 10 minutes. So what you do is you get a candle, you light it, and you just stare at the candle flame. And what you do is you breathe in, and as you breathe in, you put the awareness in your body. You put the awareness in your hands and your feet, or even your core. Feel the awareness in the body, and then feel the separation between you and the candle. And then when you breathe out, you simply relax. And then when you breathe back in, you put the awareness back in the body. You feel the separation between you and the candle. And then when you breathe out, you relax. So you do this for about 5 to 10 minutes. I do it every morning before I'm even out of bed. And what that's doing is it's getting the awareness out of your head, and it's getting it back into the body. And when you get your awareness in the body, that is when you become more present to the moment. And when you become present to the moment, like Eckhart Tolle says, that is when you stop overthinking. So that's the first technique to use. Now, the second technique is, if you're overthinking, it's another candle meditation, but this one's different. If you're overthinking a lot, instead of fighting those thoughts, like instead of trying to control your thoughts and fighting with them, what you do is you observe the thoughts and you allow them to be. This is where it's more powerful, because if you try to fight the thoughts and you're trying to control them, you're creating this resistance, and it's going to just make the overthinking worse. Whereas if you start to observe the thoughts and just allow them to be, this is when they will go away. So what you do is, it's another candle meditation. You simply just light a candle, you stare at the flame, because eyes that wander is a mind that wanders. So when you stare at a candle flame, it helps to quieten down the mind. And you just simply observe your thoughts. You observe them as if you're sitting on this park bench. Like, you know, if you're at a park and you're sitting on a bench and you're just observing people, like, someone might be walking their dog, or, there might be kids running past playing, or, you're just sitting there observing. So it's the same idea. It's like you're on a park bench and you're just observing these thoughts going past. You don't try and control them, because again, that will create resistance. You just simply observe and allow them to be. That's where the power is, observing the thoughts. This is where the overthinking will end up stopping. Again, if you try to fight those thoughts, it's just going to make the situation worse. So that the first 2 techniques is both a candle meditation, something that's pretty easy to do, and I highly recommend giving it a go. But You know, it's sort of like if you're working out in the gym, you've got to be consistent to get results. So make sure if you're going to do that, to like start doing it daily, incorporate it into your daily routine, because that is when you will really get good results. Now, the third technique, this technique, I learnt this from it's like a doctor on YouTube called Dr. Alan Mandel. What you do is you line up all your knuckles like this. It's really difficult trying to get my pinkies in there. Yeah, so you line up all your knuckles like this, all on top of each other, and then what you do is you apply pressure. And you do this for about a minute. And what this does is it clears your head. So there's a science behind this, and he explains it in his YouTube video, like the science behind it. But basically what you're doing is you're turning on the parasympathetic nervous system, and this is what gives you instant clarity, tranquility, and peace. So give it a go. All you need to do is just line your knuckles up, apply pressure for about a minute, and just see what happens. And if you want to learn more of the science behind it, then just go onto YouTube and look up Dr. Alan Mandel. Now, the fourth technique I'm going to share with you is to move your body. Get up and move that body. I personally find when I do most of my overthinking is when I'm just sort of sitting around and not actually doing much. Like I could be sitting on the couch and I'll be stuck in these, thoughts. But one way to shift your mood and to clear out the thoughts is to move your body. And moving your body is also sort of like changing your physiological state. So even when you change your physiological state, that's also another great technique to stop negative thinking as well. So get up and move your body. Like you can do this in any sort of way where it could be just doing a wee workout. There's heaps of workouts on YouTube that you can just chuck on your TV and do them in your lounge. And, you can just do a quick 10-minute workout just to get the body moving. Or another thing you could do is simply to go for a walk. Now, the reason I say that is because I actually use going for a walk as a way to clear my head. Like, I think it's a great, simple thing to do. And so if I'm sort of like puzzled, bothered by something, got all these thoughts going on, I'll just go for a walk around the block sort of thing. Now, walking can be a form of meditation and it can be therapeutic. And again, it can clear your head. But another great thing I notice when I go for a walk, especially if I've got something on my mind that's bothering me, is a lot of the time I end up having like messages coming through from my higher self. Like I connect to my higher self without even trying to, and just I have these like messages coming through. So when you connect with your higher self, this is where you get this positive perspective and this clarity that just comes in out of nowhere over a situation that you might have been puzzled about in your mind. So like, I might be puzzled, I might be thinking, I might have a negative perspective. I go for this walk, I'm clearing my head, boom, out of nowhere, I've got this positive perspective coming through, this clarity around the situation that I was thinking about. My whole perspective shifts and I'm like, oh, and I feel better about it. So that's why I say move your body or go for a walk. Like moving the body, changing your physiological state, it can, help with, to stop negative thinking, and just going for a walk to clear your head. It's a form of meditation, and you may also connect with your higher self. You may have some sort of positive perspective and clarity that comes through as well. Now, the last technique, number 5, is another great technique, and it's so simple to do, and that is to journal your thoughts onto paper. So we can have so much going on in our minds and our brains can be just ticking over. And simply by writing those thoughts down on paper, and again, this doesn't need to be for anyone to read. It's simply just to get it out of your head onto paper. Because when you get it out of your head and onto paper, it's no longer in your head. So it's a way to sort of clear it out. So all you do is just sit there and just start journaling whatever's going on in your mind. Get it out onto paper. Again, it's another way that can be like a form of therapy. It can be therapeutic, can clear your mind, can get things out of the head onto the paper, and then, you won't be overthinking or you won't have these negative thoughts. So I hope you like this video, guys. If you did, let me know by giving me a thumbs up or write a comment. And if you like this sort of content, then subscribe and hit the bell notification. I hope I see you on the next video. Peace.